Pretty soon, that's what thousands of Hampton Roads folks will be chanting. That's because America's favorite game show is coming to Norfolk. Today, City Council spoke with Pat Sajak on the phone, and next month, wheel watchers will get their fill of Pat and Vanna aboard the USS Eisenhower.
We invited them to come to Norfolk and take a look and consider it as an off-site location. They were willing to come, and once they got here, it was clear that there were so many things that were exciting. Most of all was the United States Navy, and the carrier was the tremendous opportunity.
Last year, locals like Kathy Edney from Portsmouth competed for a spot on the program. Now, dozens of other Virginians will get that same opportunity. 10 shows in all will be taped aboard the Ike, with thousands of pounds of the show's equipment loaded in its hangar bay.
It shouldn't be that difficult at all. Aircraft carriers, when they deploy and come back to port, are constantly moving cargo of various sizes and shapes. Shouldn't be a hard challenge at all.
Not only is it unusual to tape a show aboard an aircraft carrier, but America's darling of TV game shows also holds an estimated 100 million viewers worldwide. And officials say that's a great opportunity to showcase the city.
Oh, it sure is. It's going to showcase this part of the country to the rest of the world, those few who don't know much about it.
It will also give hundreds of Hampton Roads fans a chance to spin at the wheel. Deborah Cox, 13 News, Norfolk.
So how many people does it take to screw in a Wheel of Fortune light bulb? We'll start with 5,000 light bulbs. The hangar bay of the carrier Eisenhower is being transformed into a Hollywood set right before our eyes.
I think we're at 485 dimmers, and we have more power. We brought in more transformers and cable than the ship needs to function on its own in port.
The backdrop to all of this will be an F-14 sitting just outside on the elevator.
The VF-32, the squadron over at Oceana, should fly it over to Norfolk tomorrow, and then we'll crane it aboard Wednesday morning on the elevator number 2. So it'll sit in the background along with the cars and boats and other big prizes that'll be given away on the show. I think they'll probably not give away the Tomcat.
The manpower for this setup comes from Seacon, a Portsmouth company supplying some 50 tech types.
I think this is about the biggest show we've ever done aboard a carrier, which makes it even more interesting. Not too sure how happy the captain is to see this on his flight, on his hangar deck, but I think he'll enjoy the show himself.
What do we got? 3 boxes there? How many things are in the boxes times what? I think it's enough.
And then we come here and we have the Wheel of Fortune. I've never seen anything like this in my life. But the publicity for the Navy and the ship is going to be outstanding, I think.
From screening a show open outside to written test inside, some 40 College of William & Mary students were out to spin the wheel in Hollywood.
It was harder than I thought. Yeah. Some of the phrases didn't seem to make sense. I think the game on TV is easier.
All right, spin that wheel. Here we go.
Just like the auditions held in Norfolk last year, these students in Williamsburg played a few rounds of wheel to show producers their skill levels.
If they keep the game moving along, if they call those letters in a big voice, if they buy a vowel when they should buy a vowel.
The cuts came and half the students received their walking papers, the tough side of showbiz.
I think the trick is just to relax and let things come to you. Don't think too hard, and hopefully it'll just come to you.
So they played, took more written tests and played some more.
Mother's Day brunch.
While visions of Kathy Edney danced in their heads. She's the Portsmouth woman who competed on the Wheel of Fortune last spring.
I don't know. I just have to say hi to Vanna, so that's all that matters.
Wheel folks were impressed with how much these students really knew.
They do. They know it very, very well. They know the strategy. They understand the game. They are obviously wheel watchers, and we love talking to them.
It was lots of fun. Everyone was very enthusiastic, and I got to do it with my 2 roommates.
Joe Flanagan, 13 News, reporting for
Wheel of Fortune!
Usually F-14s fly onto the carrier Eisenhower, but Hollywood does it a little bit differently. For them, this $30 million Tomcat is part of their Wheel of Fortune set, to be craned on board like everything else Pat and Vanna use.
I've never seen this. We have a Hollywood liaison office in the Navy that works on movies like Top Gun and Hunt for Red October, but this is something unique and new.
Ike crewmen were called on to do their part as the F-14 was moved into position.
Well, since I have the duty today, I'm the air department duty officer, so everything that happens down in the hangar or on the flight deck, that's part of me, so I got to make sure everything goes as planned and to give the crew as much support as possibly can.
The jet will form the backdrop as the hangar bay is really looking like the game show set.
The wheel's now in position where the contestants will spin for big cash prizes, and so is the famous letterboard, where Vanna White will perform the highest paid and easiest job in America, turning those letters.
Seeing to it that all this glamour is conveyed on camera from Ike is the job of the art director.
I do all of the drafting layouts. I make sure that all of the scenery is packed and moved and set up in this venue or any venue we're going to. It's by far the most unique venue we've ever done. It's incredible. It's incredible for us, and we're really happy that the Navy has allowed us to come into their home.
Show taping starts Friday.
Tip it up a little
Joe
bit
Flanagan,
more.
13 News, Norfolk.
A little higher and...
From Hollywood, it's America's Game.
Spinning the wheel in Hollywood can be quite an experience. Just ask Kathy Edney of Portsmouth, who appeared on the game show a year ago.
Just the glamour and Vanna and Pat and the makeup, and it was great. And if I could do it again, I'd do it in a heartbeat.
Kathy, who won $1,100, works as a teller at Nations Bank and has some advice for the Hampton Roads residents who will be contestants this weekend.
Watch the puzzle and think, look at the used letterboard. Even out there, you just got to pay attention to the used letterboard. Don't, call a letter without looking up there, and observe the puzzle.
Some contestants hear the Wheel of Fortune can be the Wheel of Misfortune if luck goes against you.
Yes, I did, and I definitely think the wheel was for me.
Christy Mizell, a junior at Nansemond River High School in Suffolk, split $86,000 on Best Friends Week on the wheel recently.
You have to learn how to spin the wheel, and you get to see Pat and Vanna, and I got to talk with them, and they're very nice people. So.
The stage is set on board Ike, and our fellow Hampton Roads residents are in for a real treat this weekend.
They have like little intermissions between each puzzle, and so people come on and they do a little, almost like a little comedy show or something like that, and give away prizes, and so it's a lot of fun.
Fun for contestants and fun for some 6,000 in the live audiences.
Okay, good luck to you. That number is Stephen would start and so reach down.
Ampersand.
Yes, that's correct.
I'll line them up.
All right,
I light them up so you know you're in the right position.
Thank you.
Critic, I go from restaurant to restaurant and make sure that the food is clean and well prepared and interesting.
Beautiful, magnificent ship, United States Dwight D. Eisenhower, CVM 69.
Let's host and I just food and I try to eat all the time.
Okay, thank you for being here. Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, and we have...
Yeah, there's one S
And get 5 seconds.
Landscape architect.
By George, that's correct.
So Wheel of Fortune comes right in mid-May, which is exciting. People will be saying, okay, where are we going? They've seen some visitor advertising, and now they're going to see a nationally recognized program. Also interesting.
The most famous letter turner in the world couldn't board the Ike without the proper headwear. Vanna was on a mini tour shooting video vignettes to be used on the game show.
Where's your child? He's sleeping.
It just so happened a group of students were in the Ike neighborhood and took full advantage of it. Then it was up to the flight deck with Captain Mark Gemmel and a quick tour of the bridge.
I'm familiar with that, actually.
Are you? Good.
Yes, my husband flies jets.
From the cockpit of the F-14 Tomcat to a tug tour, Vanna got a crash course at the Norfolk Naval Base.
I love it.
While Vanna was touring, final preps were underway on board Ike for the 7 p.m. tapings. While contestants and audiences have already been chosen, you at home will be able to watch these game shows the 3rd and 4th week in May. Tonight, 4 Hampton Roads citizens will spin the wheel.
A psychologist, we have a student from William & Mary, another student from Old Dominion. Some of these contestants just auditioned this past week. Some of them auditioned the last time we were here about a year ago.
The creator of Wheel of Fortune, Merv Griffin, even came in for this one.
That was a great time, Virginia Beach. I can't even imagine what it looks like now. I got married here in Norfolk, and I don't remember. I couldn't find the place now. It was ivy-covered church, I remember.
Oh, no kidding.
But probably the ivy's gone. What the heck?
Joe Flanagan, 13 News, Norfolk.
So this show's been on the air 28 years. It's still #1. It's still the highest rated, the highest revenues of any show ever on television. That it's brought in at least $2 billion.
It's very hectic, because for example, this morning we were up at the crack of dawn and shooting all around the carrier, and of course Nicholas is on West Coast time, so he was sleeping, and then I go back to the hotel and see him for a little bit, and then we come back together, and now he'll probably leave to go for his nap, but it's okay. He's with me. I get to see him every day and play with him and be with him.
Great. Announcer Charlie O introduced Pat and Vanna, and it was showtime. Johnny Carson's brother Dick was directing, and even creator Merv Griffin flew in for this one.
It's called The Giant Killer. They've put everybody against us, from Bill Cosby. They've put everything trying to break the wheel, and they can't do it. Oh, pardon me.
Over 600 fans filled the Ike hangar deck, thrilled that crowd pleaser Vanna White was there turning letters right in front of them.
The most fun about my job is making people happy. I love it. I love to see the look on their face when they win. I love everything about it. It's fun, it's exciting, and rewarding.
Wheel of Fortune folks tell us they are genuinely impressed, calling this one of the most spectacular venues they've ever photographed. Coming to a military base brought back some memories for host Pat Sajak.
I remember as I was coming to the closing days of my military service, and I was very proud of it and had a great time, but I thought it will be fun to return to a base and know that I can just leave when I want. And so sometimes I just stand by the gate and go in and out. And I say to the guard, look, I'm in, I'm out. I'm in, nothing you can do.
It was an unforgettable evening for Hampton Roads.
I think it's great. I've always wanted to be a contestant. I'm not a contestant, but at least I'm in the audience, so it's great.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I've never seen a taping of a show before, so this was very enjoyable.
Actually, it's a little bit bigger than what I thought. On the show, it seems a little more confined than it really is. It's really spread out.
Taping continues tomorrow and Monday, and these shows will be aired the last 2 weeks in May. Joe Flanagan, 13 News, Norfolk. So you want to see behind the scenes, do you?
This is what it's like behind the scenes. See?
Real glamorous, right?
Real glamorous, isn't it?
She crochets here.
And then get my hair done here, makeup touched up here. See all the hair stuff's right here.
At Botanical Gardens, they shot Vanna in the car giveaway under the watchful eye of Johnny Carson's brother, director Dick Carson.
They're making me keep this umbrella over my head so my hair won't get wet.
Today, Sinkland Fleet Band and crewmen from the Ike shot a show opening.
The Wheel of Fortune people are wonderful working for them, and they do a lot of the work. It's been minimal effort from production, setup, and loading, unloading for as part as the Navy crew, because they've done lion's share of the effort. I think it's fun. They're here anyway, so they might as well get out, get a little TV exposure, and catch a glimpse of Pat and Vanna.
They came, they saw, they conquered. Pat, Vanna, and the Wheel of Fortune turned your basic carrier hangar bay into Television City.
It's really neat. It takes longer than you would think it would, but everybody, the producers, Vanna and Pat, they're all really friendly, and this has just been really fun and definitely a memorable day.
These shows were for Armed Forces Week, May 15th.
They taped 5 shows tonight, and in some cases it came down to Fort Eustis versus Langley Air Force Base versus the Norfolk Naval Base. A perfect setting on board the USS Eisenhower.
Contestant David Cooper is a radio man from the Eisenhower.
It's easy to do it at home, but when you get up there and it's your turn, it takes a lot out of you to think and concentrate and kind of doing 2 things at one time.
The wheel was spinning and the crowds were clapping, and Vanna just kept on turning.
Well, I've watched the show for a long time. You don't realize that they cut it off and go back and cut it off and go back, but all in all, it was great.
It was a win-win situation for everybody, the Navy, the community, and the area.
This area just seemed to be all excited about our being here. We got caught up in the excitement. We couldn't have been treated better, and everything aboard the carrier has been great. And I'm trying to think of something negative. We don't want to look too nice.
I can't think of anything. Y'all were terrific.
It was great. Thanks, Norfolk.
Oh, we're proud to have you here. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Joe Flanagan, 13 News, Norfolk.